This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho there, it's Jeff Codamo. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, October the 13th, is actually the head coach for the NBA's Milwaukee Bucks. He was a former player and still a coach. He's been an NBA player for 14 years, and he is one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. So he played from 1983 to 1996 in the NBA and then began coaching. Once he became a head coach in 1999, he then left back, and he has been coaching every year since. 25 years coaching in the NBA, so he's done a lot of things going and all that. Anyway, he was born in Chicago, Illinois. He's 63 years old today. His name is Doc Rivers, or Glenn Rivers, I should say. So Doc was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and was given his nickname while attending a summer basketball camp at Marquette and all that. So, buoyed by the fact that Marquette helped him out in his basketball career, he actually went to Marquette to play college ball and had 3 years at Marquette. But the Atlanta Hawks figured something was going to be there and drafted him 31st overall. One of the best draft picks around. Well, Ralph Sampson went 1st overall to Houston, Dale Allen's 9th to Dallas, Jeff Malone 10th to Washington, Clyde Drexler 14th to Portland. Other than that, you couldn't really find any great players and all that. Although, Mitchell Wiggins, who just passed away, and Andrew Wiggins' father, was drafted by the Pacers from Florida State. Greg Kite was drafted by the Celtics 21st overall. John Paxson was drafted 19th by the Spurs. You remember him from 1993. And Canadian Leo Rollins went 17th to Philadelphia. And a lot of point guards were taken and all that. The first point guard was Enos Watley from Alabama. So you could tell that something was wrong. Regardless of that, he was picked by the Hawks, and he was the point guard of the Hawks in the 80s and all that. They found good regular season success, but when it came to the playoffs, not really. So, anyway, Rivers would have a 21 assist game against the Sixers and his idol, Dr. J, in March 1986. He played in the All-Star game in 1988 and was named the J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award winner in 1990, meaning that, it was for leadership off the court. In 8 seasons with the Hawks, he's put up over 3,800 assists. Still to this day, number 1, which is weird. Then he went to the Clippers for a year, spent 2 years with the Knicks, trying to destroy Michael Jordan in the 93 playoffs, but couldn't, and then spent 2 years with the Spurs. He played 864 regular season games in his career and all that. Regardless of that, he began coaching his head coaching career in the NBA in 1999, where he coached for more than 4 seasons with Orlando. In his first full year with the Magic, he got the Coach of the Year award in 2000. Even though the Magic did not make the playoffs that year, the fact that they were picked to finish last, and they helped people out know who Doc Rivers was. Doc wanted to assemble a Big Three team in the NBA. The Magic were trying to get Tim Duncan, who was actually close to signing with Orlando and teaming up with Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady. Of course, Orlando swapped T-Mac away from Toronto and Grant Hill away from Detroit. However, Duncan actually was not happy with Doc Rivers' policy about family members not being allowed to travel in the team's plane. So Duncan, feeling hurt by that, decided to re-up with San Antonio. For the one of that one little provision, Duncan could have been Orlando Magic. Regardless, though, the Magic did make the postseason in Rivers' next 3 years as head coach, but after a terrible start, he was canned. So he was one of the commentators for the 2004 NBA Finals alongside Al Michaels. The Celtics decided to hire him as head coach. And, for a few years, he was not really that good with the Celtics, and people wanted his head. However, Doc helped things out. In 2008, he was the coach of the Celtics when he got to be an NBA All-Star coach. Rivers won his first and only NBA title as a head coach after defeating the Lakers in 2008 in Game 6. This was a huge one because Boston assembled the big three of Pierce, Garnett, and Allen to help things out. Regardless of that, the Celtics did what they had to do, and they won the title. And Doc Rivers got a ring as a coach. In 2010, he led them to the finals, but lost in Game 7 to the Lakers. Rivers would return to honor last year's contract 2011. However, they gave him a 5-year contract extension after Rivers said he was going to retire. Unfortunately, though, he didn't stay too long. In 2013, the Celtics traded Doc Rivers to the Clippers for an unprotected first-round draft pick. The Clippers needed somebody, and practically the Celtics got a good deal. Anyway, he would become the senior VP of basketball operations. In his first season as head coach, he helped the Clippers win 57 games, being the third seed in the West. Their first round series against Golden State was supposed to be big. However, it was overshadowed by the TMZ leak of Clippers owner Donald Sterling with the racially insensitive remarks towards his girlfriends, bringing black players to games. The rumor was that the Clippers were going to boycott the series, but held a silent protest by leaving their shooting jerseys at center court and obscuring the Clippers logo on their warm-up shirts. Anyway, Rivers said he would not return to the Clippers if Sterling remained as owner. Fortunately, though, the NBA listened, and Commissioner Adam Silver put a massive ban on Sterling. He's banning Sterling from the NBA for life, and he must sell the team. Fortunately, Steve Ballmer, Microsoft CEO, got the team for $2 billion, and Rivers remained with the Clippers. So, anyway, he signed a deal with the Clippers, and in January 2015, he actually ended up coaching his own son, Austin, which was weird because, it's like nepotism. But anyway, 3 years later, Austin got traded to Washington. But regardless of that, he knew his basketball actions and all that. Doc Rivers would actually make a comment on Kawhi Leonard during the 2019 playoffs, saying that he is the most like Jordan that we've seen. And because of that, the Clippers were fined $50,000 for tampering. How is that tampering? The Clippers decided to sign Kawhi Leonard to a 3-year deal in free agency in 2019, pissing off Raptor fans, I bet, because, Kawhi was only there for 1 fucking year. And all that. Led the team to the title and then left for the Clippers. Like, honestly, if Kawhi spent a few more years with the Raptors, maybe then his exit would have been much sweeter on me, but no. Anyway, Doc would put up his 900th win as a head coach November 8th, 2019 against the Trailblazers and in the Western Conference semis in the COVID year. They were up 3-1. And it looked like the Clippers were going to make it to the Western Conference Finals for the first time as a franchise, which was in Buffalo and San Diego at one time. Unfortunately, though, he failed. And for the third time, he actually blew a 3-1 series lead as a coach. All that. So that was just bad luck. The Clippers were massively cursed. Rivers decided to step down because of that. He put up 358 wins in his career. Anyway, the Sixers decided not to pass on Doc and put him there. In his first season, 2021, the Sixers were number 1 in the East, but somehow lost to the Hawks in 7 games. After a bitter postseason loss to the Celtics in 2023, he was fired. Milwaukee decided to hire him as a consultant to coach Adrian Griffin. However, the Bucks were not happy with Griffin and canned him for Doc Rivers. So yeah, so Doc Rivers was a pretty good coach and all that. I mean, he was a good color commentator and all that. And did some broadcasts for TNT, ABC, and ESPN. He was actually the main part of the main commentator stuff with Mike Breen and Doris Burke, but Rivers would leave ESPN obviously to be Milwaukee's head coach. So his time with Atlanta, Clippers, New York, and San Antonio, he put up 864 games, 10.9 points per game. In the playoffs, he had a few deep runs and all that. His best deep run was 1993 with the Knicks when they were unable to take down MJ. 95, he played 15 games for the Spurs. Plus he's been in there. So his head coaching record with Orlando, Boston, Clippers, Philly, and Milwaukee, 1,114 wins, 792 losses. In the playoffs, 113 108. So, not the best and all that. Rivers married his wife and have 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. Their oldest son played for Georgetown/Indiana University, Jeremiah Rivers, and is part of the D-League. His daughter played volleyball at the University of Florida and is married to a Curry. Seth Curry. Not Steph Curry, but Seth. And Austin did all that too. Anyway. He actually has ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So he's ADHD. Did not know that. But yeah, Doc Rivers is a pretty good coach, and Boston really loved him and all that. Hope Milwaukee loves him too. Anyway, I'm jumped. I'm gonna do